So the idea is we're going to, in this module, I'm going to give you an overview of a process, which I'll display and which you also have as a handout from the Department of Justice. We're really giving you a 30,000-foot view. This is not a technology course, although I will expose you to some technology during the class, and you can see some examples afterwards. I've left the minutia out on purpose because I don't want it to get too hung up in the details of some of the tools that are actually used when doing analysis in a forensically sound manner or doing incident handling in a forensically sound manner. You get the idea, you'll understand what the steps are, you'll see some of the tasks, you'll see some of the, I'll relate to you anecdotally some of the issues that I have been personally involved in as we have done some captures on site, some imaging, and some after-the-fact activities. The devil is in the details. There's a lot of stuff that's done when you do analysis, when you do incident handling. There's lots of technology to use. It changes rapidly, et cetera, et cetera. So here in the handout that I've given you is basically the analysis process. What you see highlighted is the part that's in the middle, but I really want to focus, I want to also include the parts on the two tails that involve imaging the data, some kind of a request, followed by the reporting, and then some notion of analysis or actually reporting or actually testifying. So this is the whole process. And underneath each one of these steps within the process are going to be a collection of tasks. And then underneath those tasks are going to be a collection of tools that are used to wade through some of the materials that have been captured. So what we're going to spend the rest of the time in this module talking about are these actual bubbles, the actual major steps in this task, in this process. So I have scattered throughout this presentation a few things. One of them is called key points, which are things I really, really want you to walk away with. The first thing I want you to walk away with is the notion that you need to document everything. And specifically the purpose here is you want to put yourself in a position where others are able to reproduce your results. For example, if you're working with federal law enforcement, there is likely going to be a set of defense people who are defending the person who's been accused of a crime. They need to be able to reproduce what conclusions and findings you've come up with in the process of doing your analysis. So it's very important to keep a journal. Date and timestamp all of the entries, time zones, all of the kinds of things that are normal incident handling kind of activities. Describe the activities. And another key point, what you end up with as you mine data is called a finding. It's not a conclusion. That causes you to make a subjective decision. It is a finding. I went through this system and I found this thing. That's an indisputable fact. Now, whether it's a $20 bill as a JPEG and you then conclude it could be used for counterfeiting, that's a conclusion. You found a JPEG of something that seems to resemble U.S. currency. That's an indisputable finding. This is how I found it. This was the tool I used to find it. These are the metadata attributes. So findings is the key thing you're looking for. And document everything. That's your first key point.